Madrid still top of the table over in La Liga. That's right, with the 2 points clearance over the nearest and dearest Barcelona. But what's going to go on match day number 5? We're going to get to that. How much more next? That's right, folks, back once again with another video today to take a look at match day number 5 to see if Real Madrid can make it 5 wins on the bloody spin. We'll get to that and much more in a second. If you do, where you been? Smash your subscribe. You want some for Blackburn Rovers, La Liga, whoa, football. We're going here under one Rooski. That's right, we've got a stacked out fixture list just around the corner. And of course, busy all week of action over in Europe. What will happen with that domino effect with the European games and then leading into the Spanish action in the weekend? Well, we'll showcase you in a second. Big shout out to the members and the patrons. You know who you are. But we're going to jump at the deep end right here, right now. And look at this, of course. It is La Liga. And I'm going to showcase you what went down last time around. Of course, we've been on the road, up and down, but we're back. And these were the results right here, right now. Of course, I'm going to give you an update with the Super Russo. Stand by. So, Sevilla, Elche ended up with a 2-2 scoreline. I went with a 2-1 win. Got that one wrong. Meanwhile, Getafe picking up a 2-0 win over Rayo Oviedo. I went with a score draw on that one. Levante also getting a 2-2 scoreline against Real Betis. Again, I went the other way. Celta Vigo with a draw against Girona 1-1. I went with a 2-0 win. Atlético Madrid did beat Villarreal 2-0. Got that one spot on the nose. Barcelona with a 6-0 win over Valencia. I went with a 3-2 win. Bilbao lost to Alavés in a surprise 1-0 loss. Again, I went the other way. Sociedad did lose to Real Madrid 2-1. I went with a 4-2. Osasuna with a 2-0 win over Vallecano. Again, got that one wrong. And Espanyol did beat Mallorca 3-2 and I went with a 2-1. Goodness gracious me. So, what does that mean? Over in the table, well, it looks a little bit like this, guys. As you see, it is Real Madrid at top of the table with 12 points of a possible 12. It's the Xabi Alonso effect right there. Meanwhile, Barcelona are not too far away, as are Espanyol. Going down, it's Girona, it's Mallorca, it's Levante. But, of course, it is still early days. And speaking of early days, it is early days in the Portsmouth edition of La Liga. I've not updated it, but this is the link to get involved. But currently, who is leading the charge? Well, I'm going to showcase you right here, right now, who is leading the charge. Of course, they're going to be on the screen in just a second. Well, here we go. It is Vinny Hong kicking up a pick 13.4, 5 points this past week. Finley up there alongside him with 12. Raymond Ruddington in bronze with 11.5. Now, that was just last week. I got myself down here 4.5. Pretty grim stuff. But you throw that into the mixer and have a look at the actual leaderboard, and it is Vinny Hung also leading with 43.5, level with Ultra Omamura at 43.5 as well. Clasherman also not too far away. Now I'm having a bit of a struggle right now. 17th right now with possible 26. But it is early days. It will change. I will get better. It's just a very, very awkward start of the season at the moment. So that is that, my friends. And a reminder of that link should be on the screen right about now. So let's get into it. Next one. And it is these guys right here, right now. I'm going to jump in the deep end with a trip to Real Betis, of course, coming at you this coming Friday, the 19th of September, the Estadio de la Carreta. Betis under Manuel Pellegrini currently find themselves in 10th spot over in La Liga. They sit with 6 points right now, but just one win in the last 6. Up against my boys, Real Sociedad under Sergio Francesco. They're sitting down 17th right now with just 2 points coming into on back-to-back defeats. They played Real Betis 57 times since 1994. 20 wins for Real Betis, 19 wins for Sociedad. There has been 18 draws between the two sides. Coming into this, though, the last played over at this very venue was a 3-0 win for Real Betis way back in February 2025. Of course, Betis with a 2-2 score against Levante. Most recently, Sociedad 2-1 loss to Real Madrid. Got basic odds on this one. The basic odds do show that Real Betis are favoured for the victory. I'm going to go with another 1-0 win as well for them to really put the dampener on Sociedad's start to the campaign, but we'll see if they can bounce back and fast. Let's hop into Saturday now as Girona take on Levante coming out of the Estadi Monteverde. Girona under Michel currently find themselves rock bottom, 20th in the table right now with just the 1 point. They did, however, pick up that 1 point last time around, but they're taking on Levante, also struggling right now, 18th in the table with also just the 1 point. They played 12 times in 2008. We have 2 wins Girona, 5 wins Levante, and there's been 5 draws. They last played over at Girona. It was a 2-1 win for Levante. In fact, the home side has not won this game since Levante beat Girona in Levante way back in May 2017 in the Segundo Division. Moving forward, coming into this, both sides on the back of draws, of course. Bookies will give it to Girona, but only just. Got to go with a 2-1 win as well to give themselves a first win of the campaign. Next up, we go Real Madrid up against Espanyol. Both sides are pretty good right now. In the top 3, we've got Real Madrid in top spot. Perfect record. 4 wins on the spin. Up against Espanyol under Manuel Gonzalez. Unbeaten in the last 6. Now, they played 60 times since 1994. 44 wins. Real Madrid. There's been 10 wins for Espanyol. And there's been 6 draws between the two sides. They last played over at Madrid. It was a 4-1 win way back in September 2024. But coming into this, Espanyol have actually won 2 of the last 6 against Real Madrid, and they're coming into this on a red-hot form. Back-to-back wins for them. However, the last time they were on the road, they did suffer a draw. Real Madrid, their perfect record so far. Might have been conceding goals, but they're looking good, and they're looking good for this one as well. Expected to win, and expected to win comfortably. I've gone with a 3-0 win for Real Madrid. Meanwhile, Alavés are taking on Sevilla at the Estadio de Mendoza. Alavés under Eduardo Coudet find themselves in 7th in the league. 7 points so far, just 1 defeat in the last 5 matches. Sevilla, but with Matias Almeida, they find themselves in 12th spot with just the 4 points of the campaign. Now, they played 28 times since 1997. 7 wins for Alavés, 13 wins for Sevilla. There's been 8 draws. They last played at this venue, 2-1 winners it was for Alavés back in September 2024. They're coming into so on the back of a win that are the hosts, 1-0 winners over Bilbao. Meanwhile, Sevilla on the back of back-to-back games now, unbeaten, but a 2-2 scoreline last time around. The bookies, looking at it, they go with Alavés for the victory on this. I'm going to go with a 0-0 scoreline right down the middle. What do you think about that? Meanwhile, we have Villarreal as they take on Osasuna. That's right. That's coming into, where the heck is that game? There it is. It's actually on Sunday, so we're going to have to do a little bit of digging for that one. So Villarreal doing all right so far this season. Of course, under Marcelino, taking on a Osasuna side. Also had an okay start to the campaign as well. Last match taking place over at the Estadio de Salamanca on the 20th of September. Of course, Villarreal with Marcelino in 6 right now, 7 points for the campaign. Up against Osasuna under Alessandro Lisici. That's right. Back-to-back wins. They sit 9th with 6 points. They played 47 times, these two clubs, since 1996. We have 23 wins for Villarreal, 15 wins Osasuna, and 9 draws. Last time around, over at Villarreal, 4-2 winners it was for the hosts way back in May 2025. They're on the back of a loss, though, coming into this 2-0 loss to Atlético Madrid. Osasuna on the back of a 2-0 win over Vallecano. Back-to-back clean sheets, only conceding 1 goal in the last 4 matches, so they're looking pretty airtight at the back. The bookies for this one, they'll give it to Villarreal, but it's a tight one. I'll go with a 2-1 win as well for them to take it to the house. Valencia back onto Saturday, taking on Bilbao, coming out of the Mestalla. Carlos Cobahan's boys are 15th right now, 4 points for the campaign, just 1 win in the last 4. Up against Bilbao under Ernesto Valverde, back-to-back defeats. They do sit 4th, of course, and they're going to take on Valencia for the 70th time. The previous 69, this is since 1993. 27 wins for Valencia, 21 wins for Bilbao. There's been 21 draws. They last played at the Mestalla. It was a 1-0 win for Bilbao on back-to-back games over Valencia. Back-to-back clean sheets as well. Bilbao, though, haven't scored in the last match, of course, against Alavés. The same can be said for Valencia on the back of that 6-0 loss to Barcelona. The odds for this one, Bilbao are your favourites with the bookies. I've gone with a 1-1 scoreline, though, right down the middle. Point a piece. Vallecano, they're going to take on Celta Vigo. Come out on Sunday, the 21st of September at the Estadio de Vallecas. Vallecano under Igneo Perez. They sit 13th right now with 4 points. That's 1-1, lost 1, and drawn 1 over the last 3. Celta Vigo, Claudio Giraldes, they've drawn 4 on the bounce. They sit 14th also with 4 points. They played their opposition 38 times since 1993. 17 wins for Vallecano, 9 wins Celta Vigo. There's been 12 draws. They last played over at Vallecano. It was a 2-1 win for Vallecano back in January 2025. They did the double over Celta Vigo last time around. They're actually unbeaten against them in the last 4, only losing once against them in the last 6. Coming into this, Vallecano, they're on the back of a defeat, losing to Celta Vigo. Losing to Osasuna. Celta Vigo on the back of 4 successive 1-1 scorelines. And the bookies for this one do see the hosts are favoured for the victory on this. I'm also going to go with a 3-1 win for Vallecano, ending that draw streak of Celta Vigo and putting the 3 points in the home side. Mallorca taking on Atlético Madrid. That's right, coming at you out of the Mallorca San Juan Stadium at Yagobo Arias. They are 19th right now, just 1 point for them this campaign. Up against Atlético Madrid under Diego Simeone, just 1 win in the last 4 for them, but they do sit 11th with 5 points. Now, they played 38 times since 1997, 12 wins Mallorca, 17 wins Madrid. There's been 9 draws. They last played at the San Juan. It was a 1-0 win for Atlético way back in November 2024. In fact, Atlético have won 5 on the bounce, having 4 clean sheets on the bounce. and looking to add to that to this weekend. Madrid, I'm on the back of that 2-0 win over Villarreal. Mallorca on the back of that 3-2 loss against Espanyol. The bookies will go with Madrid. They are red hot favourites, and I'm going to go with them as well. 2-0 winners, clean sheet once again. And moving the chains, Elche will take on Real Oviedo. That's also coming at you this coming Sunday. Elche, under the stewardship of Edia Sarabiba, taking on a Real Oviedo, of course, returning to the top flight, of course, under the mentorship of Veljko Panjovic. That's right. It's coming out of the Estadio Martinez Vallejo. Elche coming into this in 8th right now, 6 points for the campaign, just 1 defeat in the last 6. Oviedo they're in the 16th right now, 3 points for them for the season. They've taken on their opponents 16 times since 2001, 6 wins for the hosts, 7 wins for Oviedo, and there's been 3 draws. They last played over at this very venue. It was a 4-0 win for Elche way back in November 2024. Of course, familiar foes from last season. We have odds here coming at you right here right now. Elche are favoured for the W, and I've gone with a 1-1 score in the right down their middle. And then finally, we're going to wrap it all up. It's Barcelona. They're up in action up against Getafe. That's right. It's coming at you over at the Stadio Olympic Luis Companies. Hansi Flick's boys are second. They're unbeaten in the last 6 games, of course. In fact, they're unbeaten in the last 8. They're taking on Getafe and Pepe Bordalas. They are 4th right now. 9 points for them. Just 1 defeat in the last 4. They played 44 times since 2004. 30 wins for Barcelona. 4 wins, Getafe. 10 draws between the two sides. They last played in Barcelona. 1-0 win as it was way back in September 2024. The hosts have not lost this game. In fact, Barcelona have not lost this game in the last 7, 8, 9. And 9 games unbeaten against Getafe. They've only conceded 1 goal against them in the last 7. So they like playing against them, but they've got a couple of draws in there as well. Bookies will go with Barcelona. Of course they will. I'm going to go with a 4-0 win, added to the tally. And if I'm right, which I bloody well hope so, this is what the table will look like. You'll be Madrid, Real Madrid, of course, Barcelona in 2nd, Villarreal in 3rd, Bilbao in 4th. Going down, Mallorca, Levante, and my boys, Real Sociedad. Don't forget, the prediction league is open. It's live, and that is the link to get involved with that. And I will be back very, very soon with the next round of games, of course, over in Spain, of course, so make sure you stick around for that. And, of course, in the channel when we got lots of coverage, of course, including Champions League and more. But until then, I'll see you soon whenever we return. Until then, I am done.